Mm. For Willie. Good one. For Willie. Hello. Whoever just wandered in. I keep my eye on the chat here and get the microphone closer, get close to the microphone so I can be heard. I am being heard, yes. It's Wednesday, July 1st, 2026. Hmm. Good morning or afternoon or wherever you are. So I am, let's see who that be. Who that? Hey, long time. Oh, I get the warm fuzzies. And Max Mordico. Max Mordico. Hi. How's Germany? I think you'll like what I'm gonna talk about. I never get the jittery things. I mean, I rarely get jittery. Yeah, it's been a while. It's been a long while. Lulu is no longer with us. But I don't think I've changed the, uh, yeah, it's super hot and humid here. Happy meal. Yeah, happy meal. Hey, bro. Chud. I want a toy. I want a happy meal. Happy meal. You think I could do it as good as I just did it? I remember it. It's burnt into my brain. Mm. Mock. That's my brother. And when we were in Scientology together, we go to McDonald's with our $2 or whatever, $3, and get the 99-cent menu shit. And like we didn't have a lot of money. It's like I don't want to eat spit on food, and this goober is in the back of the van screaming like a toddler in a psychotic uh, reverie, going nuts, having sleep dep, food dep, all that fun shit. Yeah, good times. So I started reviewing the transcripts from a lot of my old stuff. I should back up and say that this is I am going to I'm looking at my channel, what it was, what it is, what it could evolve to be. The Scientology thing That's a very small lens. I can widen the lens and see a lot of things that it applies to. Uh, so while I was going through these old transcripts, I knew this because Doug and I talked about it. It's actually why he insisted that I put everything back online, but because I had pulled it off, it didn't come back in chronological order. So everything that's in the chronicles is not chronological, and that was because of fair game crap that's going on. So, a measure of precaution. But I did re-upload everything. He convinced me to do that. And I assume that y'all are hearing me just fine, and I'm not just talking to uh, dead air. Yeah. So what was happening was that from 2015 uh, all the way up to 2020, the Chronicles stuff, or 2019, whatnot, close to 2020. I was going through in real time what had happened to me. I wanted to understand it. And I did a lot of videos about different aspects of psychological concepts or uh, commentary on what's going on in the whole. Why Doug was insistent on. I, I mean, I'm not saying he bullied me into it, because he didn't. He just presented the same argument or the same observation that I had about the videos. He was like, "Dude, it's like you're going through the whole thing in real time, bro," because he saw the original uploads and all this stuff, like as they came out, and he was watching them. I had no idea, but yeah, because of the progression, you kind of, now they're out of sequence, but reading the transcripts, it's very much figuring out. And a lot of the time, I'm not sure what the hell's going on. Like, I am not trying to, I'm not, it doesn't look like from the transcripts I'm trying to provide answers for anyone but myself. So, um, yeah, I had because it was such a, like, kind of a system shock. There was a certain amount of sharpness I feel like I had that I don't really feel like I have now. In that I was quickly analyzing things and doing, topic after topic. What is this mechanism? What is this mechanism? And I was slow back then, but in speaking, but I was, you know, hard catalog or Rolodex flipping around in my head, trying to look at all these mechanisms that created the system, or created the situation where I ended up in that system, and that'll make that's like a it'll make a little more sense as I get into it. Uh, so the archive is not chronological. The chronicles are not chronological. The original videos were real time recovery documentation, essentially. And I deleted them and re uploaded them due to some safety concerns. And I was trying to figure out what this is now. What is in Theta now? What the hell is it? And I developed No, I didn't develop shit. I designed some software applications uh, for some use cases that I need them for. I have a very large archive of music, and I'll show you. It's just a way for me to uh, start organizing all of the assets that have been created since, honestly, since I was a teenager. So I've been able to keep track of. So this is the software. It's kind of boring looking. Um, there we go. Full screen. But I was doing a search. I'm going to the main page here. Come on. You go to main page. It's a locally run application. Fresh. Okay. Now, you do what I tell you to do. It's not doing what I'm telling it to do. Or it's taking too long to do it. So, whatever. The archive, yeah, it's not in chronological order. The early videos that I did, identity um, formation, identity programming, sales, family systems, basically. So that is a recurring thing. You know, how does someone smart get sucked into such a stupid thing? How do people define reality? How does language control people's attention? Fire! 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 I think you get what I mean. People that are here and anyone who comes back to watch, I'm sure if you've watched my broadcasts before, you'll get it. Language and how it controls attention. You can load language. So I did a lot of, early on, I did a lot of, trying to understand that shit. How does that define reality? How does the group language and terminology and nomenclature and all this stuff to start to define reality? And then how do you recover from a system like that you've been a part of? You know, and how do intelligent people get caught up in it? So Scientology was the first system that I had enough distance from to dissect. There's not a lot of Scientology here in Louisiana. And yeah, fair game is a thing, but it's pretty minor compared to some. I'm grateful. Like so some of the videos that I reviewed were like, uh, as an example for these concepts that I was saying, uh, closing. I did a video on closing and sales. I did a video on fundamental attribution error. I did a video on the illusory truth effect. Uh, I talked about a lot of different subjects on a broadcast I did called My Bum Toe. Uh, it was kind of all over the place, but there was some interesting revelations there. Oh, that's unfortunate. Buffering issues. Huh. Well, I don't know. Hit F5 or Control F5 or refresh from your phone manually. Actually, Travis, what you have is not a phone. And what all of you have are not phones, they are exogenic cybernetic devices. Well, if the audio's going in and out, let me check my settings here, producer. I can't change it mid broadcast. Um, let's see here, audio. It's probably not going to be in the audio. It's probably going to be in the actual stream settings itself. I'm streaming at 6 kbps. 6,000. Yeah, 6K kbps. So, oh, good Lord, my foot, man. You talk about it. Refresh. um, it's buffering. So these systems, they're everywhere. Families have them. Churches have them. Bands have them. No, no, Travis, they're not cellular phones. If it was a cellular phone, it would have a singular function. What you have is an exogenic cybernetic device. Don't tell me you don't, because it tracks your motion. I forget what those detectors. The amount of sensor information that you can. Good afternoon, Brian. How you doing? I'm explaining to my brother that he does not have a cellular phone. He has an exogenic cybernetic device, and I'm sticking to that. I have to stick to that because these things aren't fucking phones. A phone is a bling. Hello. Is so and so there? No. Okay. And that's it. That's what a phone is. Telephone. Now it's everything. Exogenic cybernetic device. Basically attached to you at all times. So that's why cybernetic. It's not really a cybernetic, but it is close enough. Because who's gonna when these ECDs came out, if they're like, hey, we're gonna put these in your arm or in your head, but you'll like it, I don't think they would have went for it. So sorry, terminology changes. They're ECDs with the occasional ability to function as a phone. The difference. Social media has its own system. Like, it's crazy, but it's crazy to me. It might be crazy to y'all. A friend of mine was talking about what his kids do on the weekends, and it's like, we used to go out and hang out with different groups of friends and whatnot. Well, they do it, but virtually. But that's not the same, right? Very different. Very different. Hard to learn the social nuance that way. So it's a social media platform, and people are using it, and teenagers are using Hangout on the weekend, essentially, instead of going out or hanging out. So that whole environment has its own language. And AI tools are starting to plug into our language with large language models. I say starting to. I mean, it is. It's early yet. Um, but the recovery is part of that. Partly debugging the system. I mean, a lot of what we call personality. I see. I see. I'm getting dropped. I'm getting dropped frames. That's what's going on. Okay, this is the first broadcast I've done in I don't know how long. So I know what I need to do to fix that for next time. Apologies for the feed interruption. I'm essentially just after this broadcast going to need to turn it off and turn it back on again. On again. So yeah, a human operating system. Something that I said recently echoes something I said years ago. I read in a transcript. And basically, what it is that, when we're talking about language, language is the substrate. This is what I said recently to my friend, sysadmin at work. I'm back at work part time in IT. Language is the substrate of concepts. It's how we get from our concept, the big concept that we have, come down and we blah 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 blah. And the other person that's running their own operating system goes blah 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 blah, and they understand what you're saying. Or you've got a concept and you go blah 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 blah, and they're like blah 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 blah. You've got conflict. Language is how it's happening. So that's the bigger lens that I didn't even realize until recently exists with the videos I've uploaded and the things that I've talked about, whether it's Scientology or not. Scientology does fit in that lens for sure. Absolutely. Especially with words like WOG and SP and their special definition of what ethics is. Word, all the jibber jabber, out gradient, being reasonable, which is not what you think in your OS. It's a whole nother term in the Scientology. I know what's going on with this broadcast, and I apologize for it continuing to drop. It will probably continue to do that. I'm just going to keep rolling with the show must go on mentality. Hello. Hi. Yeah, these loaded language words. So you adopt this into your lexicon, into your human OS, and as long as someone else has that in their human OS, then it's like, you go blah, 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 in Theta, and they're like, blah, 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 in Theta. It's not just vocabulary either. So it's redirect. It's most of the loaded language is for redirection of your perception. Redirect how you're going to think about something. Redirect how you perceive something. And Scientology is not the main bad guy in the whole lens, okay? There are bigger, nastier organizations. The ch- churches, corporations, uh politics. I'm not saying it's not bad, okay? Don't I'm not mincing words here. I'm not saying they're not the biggest bad guy because I think they're not bad. But when that lens comes out and you see the systems in play and how language and words, vocabulary are redirecting people's attention and perception, well, what do you got? Gina 1877 has a very interesting comment to me. I feel like I can't articulate my OS anymore. I appreciate the large language models helping me to do so. Yeah, because let me point out something that I bring up at work because I happen to work for an IT company, uh, part time. It's a good friend of mine owns this business and worked for him before the cancer and all that. And here's how I explain large language models to people who don't. I mean, I assume most everyone here knows, but I can't assume, right? Make an ass out of you and me. A large language model, when, if you're using it in the a correct way, which, okay, it's full of language. You can do it in any language, but how you interact with it matters. How you communicate with it, with language, because think about it. What I just said, well, here we go. Concept, you can't be like, we're not mind readers. So we take concept, bring it through our brain, our human OS, and then we go blip, 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 blip. Then the language model is a transformer. Now, if you don't have to know a lot about electricity, I'll teach you a little. A transformer takes a high amount of electricity and transforms it to a low amount, or a low amount into a high amount. It's the same thing a large language, well, a transformer does. Not necessarily large language models can do more than that. They can be implemented in other use cases with other types of software. But a general pre-trained transformer is the best name that they have for it. And it is generally being trained on your language to transform it back to you in a bigger or smaller, like, hey, I got this idea and I'm thinking way too hard about it, and can you make it simple? Yeah, is uh my recommendation and advice is to always check yourself to make sure you're not off, because when you are doing this, you are offloading some of your cognitive load. So what you got to I suggest people be aware of is, like, don't just offload all of your cognitive load. Take what you feel like, prioritize your like, if there's something that's in your cognitive load in your head that is just kind of like taking up space, then yeah, get it get it out. But don't don't get too reliant on it. That's my best advice. And always check yourself. Make sure you're not like, because essentially that model is spitting back what you said, just in smarter or dumber or bigger or smaller or whatever. So what you put into it really is, in general, let's not get into like crazy conspiracy shit just yet, is what you get back. What will my channel be about? That's a good question. Hi, Janet. Um, that's a good question. What can it become? I'm not saying I'm done talking about Scientology. It still fits in that lens. It's kind of what I'm working through with you guys right now. So, because of the systems, you know, and the the language and the behavioral stuff that I've talked about before, like there are so many other examples that happen in every day, everywhere. Um, but I guess I'm trying to put Scientology into context with what I would broadcast or talk about now. You know, it's still a case study or a core case study in my situation. Uh, but you know, systems in general. I think systems are uh, are the topic. That seems like the broad target. Systems, signal, stuff like signal to noise ratio. Um, why why do bands fall apart all the time? Your favorite band probably broke up. You know, I could say a lot about that. Knowing the systems. Um, why do groups punish individual? Hey, Beach. No, damn it! I dropped my lighter. I got excited. I saw Beach and Janet and Mock and all these people that I love. Uh, yeah, I mean, for some other examples, like why people avoid therapy after being in high control systems, environments. You know, this isn't just with it's on this side. And I can probably reach it. Maybe. No. What is this? It's a dog toy. Thank you. Are you gonna get the doggy? Who doesn't get excited about the beach? Beach. Biatch. Yeah, I think the bands thing would be interesting because I know the systems. Um, and also why people avoid therapy. You know, my stepdad never wanted to go to therapy, and he still to this day wouldn't go to therapy. This is Stormy. He, she is our little puppy. She's a Australian Labradoodle. Um, hey, Sophia. Oh, that's right. People call her Sophia because the other name's too damn hard to pronounce. Um, yeah. Oh, yeah. My stepdad, he just wouldn't do it. He grew up in a very high control type of situation. Okay, okay, Stormy, you gonna just sit? All right, that's perfect. This is perfect. Uh huh. Um, I mean, I avoided therapy too after Scientology. I avoided. I was kind of like I didn't want to go to therapy after my, you know, whatever you want to call it, early childhood experience, adverse childhood experience stuff. I didn't want to go to therapy after Catholic school. There's a lot if you widen the lens what this channel could be about, honestly. Like why storytelling helps people heal, sharing, community space, and talking about all kinds of shit. um and we've laughed over years about Scientology, and comedy can say things that get you to feel things that words can't. It's almost like comedy is a way through the substrate to the concepts themselves. There's a topic. Systems, human intelligence systems, human operating systems, government systems, band systems, cult systems, religious systems, government systems, environmental systems, band systems, language systems, belief systems. What did I don't remember who asked what the channel was going to be about, but what did y'all originally come here for? What topics would you still trust me to talk about? Oh, mock, yes, satire. In one of the transcripts, I was reading about the series that I wanted to produce, and now it may be very, very possible, way more economical to actually do it. And I think it would be therapeutic. I was very passionate about getting this project off the ground, and had a couple of broadcasts with a screenwriter named Paul Bloyd. And I wanted to actually put, the camera and the person uh, in the room on staff, essentially. And this was done partially on Louis Theroux's film, but only partially. They did some of the training stuff, and they had Homeboy give his speech as David Miscavige, and I thought that was great. There was, I think he did. I think he did okay work. Uh, I think I say that I say it was great work, and then I said okay, but Marty got triggered in the process, and I feel like Louis leaned into his entertainer side, and what do you call it? Um, Absurdity, rather than um, which makes sense considering they were doing training routines and whatnot. He leaned into the absurdity and had the guys go, hip hip hooray, hip hip hooray, and Marty got all triggered. And it might have been because he still had a great deal amount of respect for Hubbard. It's like, are you mocking me? I see what the problem is now. Um, you came for the conversations with other ex members. Are you an ex? Um, my wife originally came to your channel for Scientology, but stayed for music I shared. Well, let's do some of that. I got a live performance, most recent from the band I'm playing in now. You can listen to that and then wrap it up. I don't keep it short today because, I'm going to have to fix this whole dropped frames bullshit. But, you know, let me know what you think. I mean, I'm kind of doing a similar thing that I did before, but in a different way, like just widen the lens. Let's talk about systems, language, because I feel like there's been so many people that were pulled into the Scientology thing because they've had systems experiences like this, not Scientology, but another system, and there's camaraderie and community with that, and you know, if you've lived through it, it's I think it's healing. Uh, so I don't know what is what it becomes next. I don't. I think I understand now what it was about. Um, and it wasn't just about leaving Scientology. It was about systems and understanding how they affect people, mm. and shape people, and turn people into other people. Um, yeah. Let's. I'm gonna put this on full screen, and we'll see how the audio works out. Um, Fingers crossed. This is Band of Sinners. This is the name of the band that I'm playing with. We got three riders, three up front, and a rhythm section. And this was from the Be More Festival, and this is one of my newer tunes called Never Know. And the bass is freaking insanely loud. So I'm giving you a heads up. The bass is really loud. So make your adjustments so that I don't blow your freaking speakers or scare the shit out of your family or cat or dog, because the bass is really fucking loud. Yeah, Mark. Coercive systems. Yeah, systems. Essentially, systems. I was focused on Scientology as a system, trying to what the hell happened to me? And this is what Doug saw in real time. And now the chronicles, they're still all there. They're just not in order. I fuck me trying to get it back in order, but because I have tried, and it's like, because the upload dates don't match. The I'm just checking chat here. Oh, he looked into it when he was 14, trying to decide if he could escape. From your family, I assume? Escape from or to? Oh, it's good that you decided not to. Alex, I love you, man. You just said yes. Okay, well, I'm glad. No Scientología. Um, no bueno. No, bad. It's mal. From, okay. And see, that makes sense, and I can understand. Uh, you know, I was in a. Hmm, this is legal stuff that I probably shouldn't talk about, so I'm not gonna. But I'll say it in a way that is understandable. Um, when I was young, I got emancipated the day I turned 16, and to I could not get a full time job. You know, trabajo was no bueno. I could only work up to 20 hours a week. So I needed money, and I found a way to make money. But that introduced me to a whole other system, just like what we're talking about here. I am very glad that you did not as well. And so I've warned y'all about the bass. We're going to play a song, and then we'll wrap up. Really good to see you guys. I hope we can keep doing this. I'm off on Wednesdays, so maybe this could be a scheduled thing. Let me flip it up here to main screen. Main screen number 1. Get ready. There's a lot of bass. All right. Camera 1, camera 2. There we go. Never Know from Be More Fest 2026. I do want to. This guy's got a cool channel. He went out and filmed all these bands. If you like just well filmed music, that was at a festival, so there's no. He's not an audio guy. It's a big. This is a big thing in videography. They they focus so much on the video that they completely miss their education. Bless you. So his name is the Mousing Fox. He's got 74 subscribers. But these are all local folks from around South. And this is a guy in my band here, me and Skeeter's band. Skeeter's band. Skeeter's band. This is my buddy Coop with the Loaded 44s. Great band. And there's some other stuff. He's just getting started. And he's got a bunch of stuff. So I'll drop his thing. And if you decide, you make your decision. And there. I've done my good deed because he did his for providing us with 3 really nice videos. And a whole bunch of other stuff. There's a whole lot of other bands and stuff in there. Yeah. Yeah. Future topics. I mean, you can probably expect the same kind of, not the same. Now that I have this different lens and I know it's systems that we're talking about. That was the one thing that emerged out of all of this transcript review is systems. So, what do y'all want to talk about next? I mean, I'll make a choice for sure, but I'm open to subjections. I'm open to suggestions. I'm getting old because I'm doing that shit that my folks used to do, mixing up their words. Yeah. Integrate. This is about integrating a piece of the media that I've produced. I'd started a new company, my 13th business, and lucky 13, hopefully. And it's publishing. So, all of this stuff is relevant. And I've been trying to figure out how to integrate it into everything else that I do without contaminating anything else. Make it a sterile, archive where things don't disappear because of careful consideration of each individual branch on the big Delta Gold media tree. The early on undermining of critical thinking. I like the way you think. I've always liked the way you think. I need the it's too bad. I don't know if I can get chat transcripts because y'all have said some amazing shit too. This is I'm just a dude with a big broadcast console and all the whatever. I can sit here and broadcast all damn day. You've seen me do it. Not making, enough. So, and also the, that's not the point of it for this. The, there was, legal stuff going on still with the kids up until recently, and maybe there still is. I don't fucking know. But things are going good on the home front. Thank God. It is a massive relief. I want everyone to know who's here now or later will watch over the people who watch after. I want you all to know that I'm doing very well in that regard. It's pretty remarkable. So that's good. But there's still the daily or weekly, like, I'm in shock. Like, recover from this shit. Who recovers from this shit? I'm grateful. I'm very grateful. And I like to do these types of broadcasts. I feel like also widening the lens will shrink my I'm trying to say this without sounding like an IT guy. Yeah, this is what my mug that I got for Father's Day. It says, "I ain't high enough for any of this shit," and that's a quote that I say a lot. Which I'm not. I'm not high enough for any of this shit. That was poignant. Here you go, baby. Thank you. Yeah, it's like everything's going so well. Yeah, I ain't high enough for any of this shit. Because the nervous system doesn't forget, right? Hello, any survivors out there? The nervous system don't fucking forget. Pardon mon français. So glad that Alec did not join Scientology. It's freaking awesome. Good to see and hear that. Becoming more and more common as, and the Naruto runners, the resilience. Okay. I'll put something together, man. Resilience is a great suggestion. Honestly, man. Hit the nail on the head with that. I could hammer on that. Yeah. Because I ain't high enough for any of it. Yeah, the nervous system, man. Like, things are going great, but like, tell my fucking nerves that. and it's like things are just going things are going good, but like raw dog in it, and that, I've learned to learn to find that moment. It's like, okay, that thought, whatever, that fear, with anxiety and frustration, and like, okay, what part is the signal? What part is the noise? Where's it coming from? I found that when you do that, the noise goes away and you're left with the signal, and you can then verify or look at the signal and be like, oh, that's bullshit signal. That's from fucking years ago. I don't need that no more. And it's like, once the noise is gone and you see where the signal's coming from, it's like, oh God, are you kidding me? It's an internal fight. It's internalized. It's like you're fighting with yourself over some dumb shit. I don't know if that makes sense right now, but when we talk about resilience, oh boy, that's going to be it. That's going to be it. We're going to talk about resilience, because that is a great topic. It's come up a lot in my therapy. It's come up a lot in my work. have a nerd talk hour? Yeah, sure. I don't know how many nerds are here. I'm probably one of. I feel like I'm a bigger nerd than everyone here. And if you saw what is in front of me, y'all might agree. I mean, I can turn the camera around real quick, see, show y'all how much of a nerd I am. There's that. That's my board. It was given to me. I didn't know how to use it. They're like, I don't know what to do with it. You better use. There's one monitor, two monitor, three monitors, speaker on the left, speaker on the right. Oh, another speaker on the left, another speaker on the right. What's that shit right there? Okay. Oh, look, it's another nerd thing. And what's that shit on the walls? Oh, that's nerd studio shit. What's that over there in the corner? That's a 24-hour broadcast server that's not running yet. Nerd shit. What's this way over here? Oh, and there's another reason the audio's cutting out. Green screen setup, podcast nerd shit. And then you can barely see it, but there's a whole 32 channel Eurorack nerd shit right there. PlayStation controller nerd. I got 3 mouses. Check. All right. Resilience. Yes, I love it. And I'm going to put that together. This is my damn headphones. Headphone jack is fucked up. It's not, excuse me, it's not affecting my mic. I can't hear my own schmelf. Okay, well, we're at an hour and 7. I said I'd do an hour, and that's an hour. So, thanks for being with me. And we'll do a talk on resilience. I'll plan on Wednesdays. So I'll see y'all back next Wednesday. And I forget what my intro used to be, but I have my new company thing. I can play us out with that.